when this thing is going live. I actually think he's live now. So sorry, we're a little late. We're trying to get our kids like in a different room. So
anyway, we wanted to jump on here tonight and talk to all you guys. And I see Freedom Homestead. Howdy, y'all. I have your shirt on. So we love our shirts.
that's
and
right.
So speaking of the homestead, we went out today and laid some tarps down on the garden. So we're gonna have a video coming up on that soon. And we kind of did the chop and drop method is what they call it. And got some tarps and stuff down this afternoon. A good rain come in after that, and then the other part of the garden, we're going to try to do something different with a cover crop and just, kind of experiment. And we want to see what's actually going to do the best.
Well, I see a lot of our Michigan friends showing up. Noah's Ark and Freedom Homestead. Thank y'all, guys. Three Musketeers. Good to see y'all. Crystal Creek, Supper at 7. Thank y'all for coming by, too.
Absolutely. And also, speaking of the Hootenanny, we had a wonderful time.
We did.
You guys have seen our trip coming up there, and that was a lot of fun.
I think we have one more video maybe that's got to come out still. But
I think I was a little surprised at about how long it took us to get up there. I knew it in my head, but then when you actually have to drive it, it's like, so I think I was a little surprised of that, but overall, the kids did really well.
They really did. I mean, really, they really did well driving. I was worried that they were going to be the hardest part of the trip, and really the hardest part of the trip was just driving it. We drove long trips. I don't know why it's so hard on us.
He was really tired of driving after it was all said and done.
I'm not one of those people that doesn't like to drive. I like to drive. But I was just burned out. I was just simply burned out.
And I'm going to have to say, too, if we ever make that trip again,
it's 2 days.
We will have to make it 2 days, because the day up there, we drove. Colby and Aiden were out at 6 o'clock. At 4 o'clock that morning doing chores. I was finishing packing. We got on the road at 6:30, and we did not arrive until after 1. And by the time we got everything set up and kind of got the kids down, and we got in the bed, it was close to 2 o'clock, and we were completely exhausted. I still don't think I've recovered from that.
I actually think last night, I finally started. I slept a little bit, and I was a little late getting up milking this morning. I think that's what it's for. But actually, I feel good today, so I'm excited. I've got a cup of coffee, so I'm good to go.
All right, we've got some more people jumping on.
How long was the drive up there? She's going Country Farms. It was 18 hours.
Boy Homestead,
actually, right at 19 hours, to be honest with you.
Beaver Creek Farm Life, hello.
Hello, Narrow Way.
It was nice to meet you too, Three Musketeers. We got to talk a little bit, and actually when our girls were in the bathroom. So, there was something else I wanted to say. I can't remember now. So the trip up there was it was overall, it was okay. Port Huron, we spent some time there. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The water was absolutely gorgeous. We made a trip over to M.I. Gardner's store, and we got some seed from there that we let each kid pick out 2 packets that we're going to plant. So that was fun.
It was fun. It was good to get away. But again, with us driving that day, that was another, around 6-hour round trip. So it was a little crazy. We talked to Luke. We saw him and passed him. He was going to his new restaurant that he's fixing to open up. And when we talked, he messaged us a little later and said, "Are y'all still here? We will get together." But
we were already gone.
We were already leaving.
Colby saw him. He was walking in. He was like, "Let's go get a picture with him." And I was like, "No, we're not going to be those crazy people."
He looked stressed. He looked very stressed.
Somebody down. I was like, "We're not doing that."
He was he's building a restaurant, not a few doors down, but he looked very stressed. So we just messaged him and said, "Thank y'all for allowing us to look at the store." We took some video at the store. But he messaged us later. But then again, like I said, we were already gone. So. But we had a blast up there. It really was really good. We're doing really good, Patrick. Thank you for coming in. So.
Yeah, we will absolutely do that, Freedom Homestead. We
Yeah, next time we're gonna park probably in your driveway and then make the rest of the trek. It was terrible.
We actually were conversating about, there were so many people
Is conversating a word?
Conversating. Well, I just made it a word.
We're gonna make it a word. Not, we make up a lot of words in our videos.
I do. I'm really bad about that.
It makes us feel intelligent. Certainly something.
Anyway, we were talking about on the way up there. There were so many people we were so close to, and if we could have fitted in, we would love to have stopped by so many different places.
Yeah,
we were so close to VW, and I mean, we were like, by the time we stopped to see his grandpa,
hey, bandana grandma.
We were like an hour and a half away, but it would have put us after 12 getting home that night, and we were already so tired. Yeah. And to be honest with you, when we were rolling in at about 8:30, like I had kind of laid down on the couch for a little while, but Colby was really struggling to stay up just because we had so many late nights and then so many really early mornings.
The worst day though was probably not the night we were coming home. It was the night we were going to Kentucky. We were
both struggling.
We come through and went to the Creation Museum and then the Ark. And don't get me wrong, those things were awesome. So we wanted to stop and see them both.
We highly recommend.
Definitely,
those.
And we'll have a video on those coming out for a review. But we made our way, and we had to make 4 hours after those things. And that was, what time did we leave the Ark? It was like 7. It was 7:30ish. It was 7:30ish.
Yeah,
and they said we're gonna drive 4 hours. Well, then we got in bad traffic. So we were getting close to this campground, which this current campground was awesome. But I tell you what, that was probably my hardest struggle. We had to pull over twice just to let me just kind of get up and walk around. I've drank so many Red Bulls.
He was punching himself in the leg and slapping his face in the head. And
I was so tired, but you're worried because you've got this big 40-foot RV with kids in it, and they're all asleep. So it was just, it's crazy. But we made it, and I think we crashed that night. That was a hard night there. So we did fit in a lot, Three Musketeers. That's what happens when you have a farm sitter. And I always say, we have one farm sitter, and we don't want to wear out our welcome because she might not come back. So we try to jam as much as we could in there. And we wish we could put more, but hey, we had a good time. We got to spend some time at Mike and Jenny's house and touring their homestead. So that was fun too.
And man, Grandma, thank you. We are very glad that we made it back safe. I'm going to tell you, I was a little worried. We didn't realize we were having some tire issues, which caused a whole nother ordeal of stress. So we realized on the way up there that Colby was really fighting the steering wheel, and we really just couldn't pinpoint what was causing it. But then the next morning and it was obviously after dark by the time we got into the campground. And the next morning when we were going out, we stopped to dump the tanks and all of that stuff. And Colby realized that we had some tires really, really low. So at some point in time from when we left our house to when we got to Memphis, we ran over something.
And it was only on the left side, but because it was putting, with a big rig, it's a Freightliner chassis. So it's really heavy of an RV. So these tires were struggling. Well, because these tires were struggling, it was making these tires wobble. So when we got to the campground,
really fighting the wheel, and it was just
it's terrible.
It was very nerve-wracking.
And here's the stressful thing. There's no convenience store or no place to stop that has an air compressor or spigot that would air it up to the required 18-wheeler size tires, which is 95 psi. They were all going to 60 and 70. So we were piecing it together till literally we had to buy a compressor. We had to go to Walmart and buy a compressor just to get home. So, it's crazy. But, we made it safely.
There was a period of time, too, where actually it was on the way back from Port Huron. Was that when it was? Yeah, because we wasted an hour trying to. We hit 5 o'clock traffic.
We toured this one place in Michigan way too much.
Yes, we drove around in circles. Either we would pull in the stores and they would not have air compressors, or we would pull them in and they did, and then they wouldn't work.
And we were in a very tight, confined town. So, you're pulling this 40-foot RV and they've got one way. So then we're trying to hit these little side roads
and like I said, it was 5 o'clock traffic. So we were trying to get in these. You don't realize how tight gas stations are until you pull in with this big, huge monster RV. and try to maneuver around.
I should have gave her some Benadryl before we left because she struggled. She was
Well,
like yelling.
if y'all watched today's video, y'all heard me when I was recording Colby. When we were going up those streets of Port Huron, it was like a car on this side, a car on this side, and we're this big thing in the middle, like riding the lines. And I was a nervous wreck.
I almost put on earplugs because she was like yelling at me the whole time because I was gonna run over somebody.
But anyway, so we are very glad that we made it back safe.
Hey, Overlook.
That was definitely a blessing in itself. We did have a good time, but we did have some stressful moments too.
It was a blast though.
Let's see.
Thank you, Steph T5. We really try on our imitation, so.
On our what?
Me messing with all this.
Oh.
Oh, it was fun though. We had a good time. I'll be honest with you. We honestly though, I don't know about y'all because I know a lot of y'all in here are homesteaders too. So when I get back to
food forest permaculture, hello.
When I get back to our farm though, it's like a piece. I just love it. I can't wait. Actually, that night where I parked my RV is not by my milk cow and the bull calf. It's by my other 3 cows on the other side of the bull. And I just went over there and just got to just kind of hang out with them. And I petted Allie. She's just running around like crazy because she was happy to see us. So it's something like a piece to come. I park right by the bees and they're still out. And so it was really good to be back. And it's almost therapy getting up and milking and kind of get back in the same routine that we're used to. So we really enjoyed being back though. It's good to be back in Mississippi. So
yeah, and then we spent the day at the Hootenanny, and that was a lot of fun. So I tried to write down as many as we could as new people that we met and we were able to talk to and conversate with. So I see a lot of people on here that we were able to talk to already. And so for the ones of you that are watching that are not familiar with a lot of these people, so we're very thankful for the Pratts, and we were actually able to meet them through the Aldermans. So, and I'm very thankful for Miss Patty too, because there's been so many times I've blown up her phone saying, what I need to do, should I do this or should I do that? So she's really helped us, influenced us, and Mr. Tommy has as well. So we met the Pratts down at Deep South, and they introduced us to the Pratt family down there. And through that, we've kind of been able to keep in touch, and
they come and toured our homestead, and we had a good time there.
Yeah, we had a real good time with them.
It's good seeing them again, for sure.
So we made lots of new friends. We were able to talk to so many different people. Freedom Homestead, Bandana Grandma, we knew her. We were able.
Yeah, Bandana came with
right. So we actually already knew her, and we had already been able to meet her. But she was there. Toon Family Homestead, Part-Time Permies. Homestead Dad, SSL Family Dad, Hesitant Homesteaders, Hodgepodge Homestead, Three Musketeers, North Star Prepsteader, Runaway Homestead, Consider It Joy, 1870s Homestead, Noah's Ark, 1962, Evolution of a Homestead, Shining Light Farm. So we were able to meet. Those are the ones that we were able to meet and really kind of talk to and conversate with. We probably did, but that's what I was just going to say is, it kind of was like, wow, there's so many people here. This is just really an amazing thing.
Hey, Homestead Dad.
So, we went, we were able to meet so many people and talk with them. And so that was really cool in itself, just to be able to meet so many people.
If you ever get to go to a homestead event, I love that one. That was a blast for us. But no matter what area you're in, it's so cool being able to see someone on a camera, but it's really cool just to be able to talk to them because
just be able to meet them.
There's no edits. It just makes it fun, and it's just great. We watched Freedom Homestead and Homestead Dad a lot, and it was just good seeing them and getting to truly meet them. I watched Part-Time Permies. I'm on a live with them on the Justin Rose, and then I go straight to their live right after, and I love watching Michael Cook. I think it's the coolest thing. So it's just cool to see some of that and meet people. So there's a few more. I don't know. I know Freedom and Hodgepodge. Y'all might know exactly what this guy's last name is, or Stefan. Stefan was the coolest guy in the world. I love anything dealing with meat. And so this guy was like making prosciutto and making all this stuff.
We heard his last name, but we didn't.
He's
it didn't
he's French,
stick in our
and we're
memory.
Mississippian, so we don't understand that language really.
We had to really listen hard to him, and he had to really listen hard to us because he had an accent, and we have a very southern accent.
But he was. I really enjoyed meeting with him, and he had some kombucha there. But really, the more I loved what he was doing with the meats. He was he cured meats. Cool. So I know Hodgepodge knows him well, and I think Freedom Homestead does too. But he was awesome to meet, and we met a guy named Jamie who was really cool on hogs.
They said it starts with a G.
Starts with a G.
We're in that.
You're in the South too, you know. But he was cool. I enjoyed that. It really was good. So
he only needs one name.
That was cool though. We really enjoyed that.
And we were super excited too about being able to meet the Stivers, and most of you guys know, unfortunately, they had a family tragedy. So we've been remembering to keep them in our prayers. That's a phone call you never want to get. So I know that their hearts are broken, and that was a really hard trip back home for them. So.
But all in all, I think it's a good trip. So it's good to go, good to be back. Again, talking about the two other things we did, the Creation Museum and the Ark, those were awesome. For us, we're Christian folks, so we that was a part that we've been talking about going to for a long time.
I don't know why we waited that
long to go. We almost talked ourselves out of it, and because of sleep and the drive. But
I'm so glad glad we didn't either. I'm so glad.
Yeah, it was really worth it. If you haven't went, I would definitely go. It's a great trip.
If you don't know anything about it, so because I went, hadn't done a lot of research or anything, but when you go in, so the Creation Museum, it starts with the creation, and it walks you through basically the Bible and all the way up to Christ's death. And
every single dad.
It gives you just bits and pieces. It puts it out there in front of you. There's all of these different I guess you call them mannequins.
Yeah.
So there's it's in displays. So you go through the whole story of Adam and Eve, Noah's Ark, with the flooding, and what else was.
It was just it was almost like they were doing a story of the first 7 days, basically, or the first 6 days. So. But it was really, really good.
But it went through.
Hey, Brazard, how are y'all?
There was so much on there, and they would give you details and have scripture at each one. And somebody would be overhead, it would be reading the stories from the parts of the Bible, and it went all the way to Christ's death, and it talked about why we need a savior, why the Bible is truth. And it was just really, really cool. So then we went to the Ark.
Yeah.
And it's
First
huge.
off, I've got to tell you a little humor. We don't eat out a lot. We try to be sustainable, and we don't it's just one of those things. We just don't eat out a lot.
And not only that.
Okay, let's go back.
I have a problem with buffets.
Yeah, so we don't eat out a lot, and we sure are not going to go to a buffet.
Not
we just don't.
Kids coughing and spitting and.
Yeah, and then they're picking their nose and they're eating their corn and all that junk. So we just don't eat. We don't eat out a lot, but especially buffets. But my kids, they've never had a true buffet. I'm talking now. My kids are. How old are our kids? 11, 7, 6, or 5. 6, 5, 4, and then the baby. They were blown away that there was this concept that they could just pick any food they want, and not only pick any food, go back and pick more. So this was like an amusement park to them. That was probably the best part of the whole trip. Hands down to the Hootenanny, hands down to the traveling. They were like, a buffet is awesome. It was the coolest thing. My daughter was walking through. She's like, Daddy, can I have that? I was like, yeah, you can have that. She's like, and I can have that too? And I can have that? And it was all this unhealthy, cafeteria style food. To them, though, it was prime food.
But what's so crazy is down here where we're at in the South, buffets are really, really, see a lot of people saying that's gross. Look, I'm the same way. And I went through nursing school. So part of our nursing school is a microbiology class. And once you go through that, it will destroy you for almost ever.
I actually liked Chinese buffets, but my wife won't go with me anymore, so I don't get a Chinese buffet any. But my kids, I mean, they thought
they were blown away. So that's really the first time. I think Aiden has maybe gone once or twice.
Yeah, he may have went once.
But we don't eat out a whole lot, and then when we do, it sure ain't gonna be buffet food. So that was.
I wish y'all could have seen my kids. I wanted to get it on camera, but it was the funniest thing and then they were like those weird kids that like try to touch the food without the forks, because then they were so excited they thought all this was for them. So they're like trying to grab like the chocolate
kids
pie.
that you don't want to see at the buffet reaching up there for the food.
So like, can we have that? So they're like grabbing it. And I'm like trying to hit their hand with a spoon, just trying to get it to where they're not like grabbing it with their hands.
Yeah, that was probably the absolutely funniest part of the day.
That was my favorite. It was funny. And then the dessert thing, they've got like 15 different kinds of random pie and random chocolate. So they get one of each. And I think they're on like a sugar rush the whole way home. And by the time they're ready to crash, they're out of it. So
she's gone country farm, and Miss Paula Jo said germaphobe. Yeah, I would definitely say I'm probably not as bad as others, but I'm definitely
bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So
anyway, but that was pretty funny that day.
It was funny. They were blown away.
But the arc overall was really, really cool. Oh yes, the Creation Museum. I forgot to mention the movie. They do a
4D movie.
4D movie, and they have like the wind blowing, and I mean it's really cool effects. Sayla was sitting in my lap, and every time something would come at you, like it was coming out of the screen, she jumped every time, and that was pretty funny too. But that was really, I mean, just everything about it was really, really cool. The art was really neat. Because you got to see the way that they were likely to store food, they were store water, the way that they were likely to prepare their food, feeding animals. They had cages built where the animals would sit on top, but then they would have these like pull out trays underneath where it was easier clean up. And then they had these big, huge pictures in the back where they were likely to store, like they would have all the food, the grains and stuff on the outside on one level, the waters and stuff on the outside of another level, and then likely to where they had the biggest animals and the smallest animals' house. So just being in there and like feeling that was just absolutely amazing.
And not only that, we're OCD, so we always, not only do we have a farm, we want to make sure everything always looks good. All the grounds there were just absolutely gorgeous and picturesque. So I'd really challenge you to go for sure. It really was good.
Crystal Creek said, bring them to the China buffet in Jackson, Mississippi. They will get an even bigger shock. I don't think I would let them step in the door.
Look, it's funny because we'll joke about it, and our kids never knew what a buffet was, so it's fun to take them. But that's all the option we had.
That's what I was going to say.
So we didn't just go because we were excited about buffet. But we got there so late.
Yeah, we had been told that there were restaurants in the Ark. So when we went, we were already in for a time crunch. So I told Colby, let's just eat when we're there, and that way we can kind of kill two birds with one stone. When we got there, you're making me yawn.
Quit yawning. Why are you yawning on live?
When we got there, they had like a little Pizza Hut, like a little outside building where they served you pizza to eat outside, and then they had a barbecue place. They were both closed
because we were so late.
So our only option was the buffet restaurant.
4 a.m. club definitely going down. But that was really good. Who else
is yawning now? I don't know what the deal is about when you see somebody yawn or you hear them yawn, it makes you yawn.
Now I want to say this: Mississippi, and there's some Mississippi folks on here. I thought we were a farming area. I really did. I mean, we have a lot of farms here, a lot of cattle farmers, have some pine tree farms. We have a lot of people that garden here in Mississippi. So I think of Mississippi as a farming area. Well, you drive through Mississippi, through the Delta, it's a farming area. Then I get to Memphis, cross over to West Memphis in Arkansas, and from Arkansas to literally Somerset, Michigan, where we went for this Hootenanny, I couldn't count the amount of farms and cornfields and soybeans that we saw. It was unbelievable. So it makes me rethink how we are farmers compared to everybody else. It's amazing how many cornfields we saw and soybeans we saw. And to see these cool big barns and big families, oh man, that's so awesome.
And really, it was like when you look out, it was not just like a field of corn. It was as far as you could see
like
to the right and to the left. It was as far as you could see.
That is crazy.
So it was a little surreal.
I doubt they were organic, but it was really neat.
Bright green, as taller than us.
I figure it's for biodiesel. That's what I really thought it was for.
No grass whatsoever.
Yeah, but it was absolutely gorgeous.
It definitely was oceans of corn. It was absolutely, and they were absolutely beautiful too. Probably the prettiest thing ever. Steph T5 said that's all Missouri and Illinois. It literally, there would be a house every tons of miles just because it was so much corn.
Okay, Three Musketeers. We do not have an Amish community, but after I talked to our hodgepodge homestead and how they have an Amish community that helps them butcher and all that, I thought that was the coolest thing.
That is so cool.
We have no Amish village around here. We do have a Mennonite village that's probably about an hour away, but it's a very, very small group. So it's not really somebody that you can help lean on for some of those things. But no, we wanted to go through the Amish country. We did watch VW Family Farms go through it, but we talked about that, but just timing, we just didn't have the time to do it. But I wish I did, because I thought that our hodgepodge, when we were talking to him, it was pretty amazing what they can help do up there. So I thought that was cool, man.
Overlook Valley painting, that's a chore, but thank you for listening. There's been times where we've had to get on people's lives and play them while we're working, but we listen, listen Definitely. In. So we've been there. There are times where we can stop and sit down and just kick our feet up and watch and conversate. But then there are times where
we're gonna make that a word if it's not conversate.
I want you to look it up in the dictionary.
We're gonna look that up. You wanna look it up? We'll look it up.
But anyway, but there are times that we can't, where we just have to lay our phone down, use our hands, and keep working and just listen. So
yeah, I wish we did have Amish village. So that would be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
That would be. But no, we had a great time. We really did. It's good to be home though, because again, you kind of can mold back into your normal routine. For us, anytime we come home with work and also conversate, Paula Joe, you're not helping me. I thought it was a fake word. You're not helping me here. So
now I need an apology.
So I'm gonna start using conversate. What was those other words you had, so we can see if they're real words?
Oh, I can assure you they're not real words. Those are misty words. He's got it like all over our videos, pointed out.
What was that? My favorite one. It was like
I don't know. No. I make up all kinds of stuff.
No, it was fun.
His favorite that I say is I ain't gonna.
I ain't gonna.
Or I ain't got no.
I ain't got no. We're from the South. So it's like.
Ask Stefan if he knows what that means.
Oh goodness, fun
and
stuff.
I don't say that a lot, but I do.
She does say that a lot.
Did you guys do the dance? We did not do the dance.
No, for one thing, well, I'm not gonna go there. We can't dance. Now Misty can dance. She was a dancer and cheerleader, and
I choose not to dance.
Yeah,
in front of people.
She could dance, but you don't want to see me break a move.
He might break a. He might break a heel.
Yeah, I throw something out. You had to carry me off. Or I could have been in the dinosaur suit that Homestead Dad had and just kind of.
No, that was pretty funny. That was that. I don't know who thought to bring that, but that was hilarious.
It was. I think it was Homestead Dad. So, but it was fun. It was kind of crazy. I don't know if some of y'all that came. I know we laughed because humidity up there. We had no humidity up there compared to here. So I walked out today and I'm like sweating before I even start the video.
Man, I went in the greenhouse. Y'all, I was trying to finish collecting my seeds. It is. It's 120. It tops itself. My thermometer that I have in there tops out at 120, and it's at the top of that line every single time. But I went in to finish collecting. I had some stuff that I had let go. I finished collecting my basil seeds, my lettuce seeds. What else was in there?
I don't know. What's so cool though is our carrots and our lettuce are so late on their seeds that we can almost replant.
I did get some of my carrots.
Did you get them?
I did. I got some of them. Some of them were not ready, but some of them
Heather.
were. But I literally, I I looked down and I would have sweat just dripping off. I did not sweat the first. I mean, it was hot in Michigan, but it was just a different kind of hot. I never sweat. You did. There was. I remember us walking in Port Huron, and you had a backpack sweat mark. But I don't sweat that easy, so I never did.
Well, I sweat bad, but to me, Michigan was a whole lot better. Y'all have like a constant breeze up there.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
was
being
really
at the beach,
nice.
man.
It was really.
Here it's just humid and
Tangy,
dull.
I watched her video today, so she had some awesome facts about Michigan that they looked up on their way, and she was saying that at any now, correct me if I'm wrong, but at any given point, no matter where you're at in Michigan, you're 85 miles from one of the lakes, and no matter what point you're at, like you're that far away. I think I said that right. I don't know. You have to correct me. It was pretty cool though. And so I'm assuming that's why it's so windy, because it's so surrounded by.
You're right.
So you're so surrounded by water that you're catching the breezes off of that. So I would think that's why it was so windy, but it was nice.
It was neat. That was the best part. That breeze kept just coming. So
well,
even
I
when
actually went to the Hootenanny that day with my hair down. My hair's pulled up now because we were in the garden this afternoon, but I actually like to wear my hair down. But when I'm outside working, I always pull it back. But so I went to the Hootenanny that day with my hair down, but the wind was blowing it all over the place, so I finally just gave up and pulled it back. So
I don't know if y'all are preparing for when we were in the garden today. It was good. We got rain here today, so I was real pleased with that. We've been kind of dry lately, but we got a little rain today, so it's good to have that. But it's neat how we're preparing for fall gardens, but it's still 100 outside. So we've been trying to figure out the best ways to because we can't utilize our greenhouse with seed starter. So we talked about doing some soil blocks. Homestead Dad, I know he kind of was going to do a demonstrate on that this week, but we've been trying to watch a lot of that. And I guess we're going to start a lot of our fall inside this year if we're doing seedlings. But we've been working on fall, but it's kind of hard to think about sometimes when it's 90 outside or 95 outside with humidity like it is. So,
well, and I even remember last year planting my lettuce. I guess it was before I had Jennings, and he was born August the 8th, and I think it was the week before we were doing all the work outside. And I went out several weeks later after we got home and got settled, and I kept thinking, why is my lettuce not coming up? Why is my lettuce not coming up? It was so hot.
Right.
It did come up,
but it just
the weather was not ready for it yet.
So we may do some soil blocks, but we're gonna probably start some inside this year if we do anything that's not just straight direct seed.
Tangy said that she's been getting everything ready but has to take breaks because of the heat. We're pretty much the same way.
Yeah.
Which I will say, I don't like to go out midday because you will literally almost have a heat stroke working out midday here. So we usually try to tackle it together in the late in the afternoons when we don't have cross country and karate and all the other extracurricular activities that we do.
I would rather do stuff in the mornings, but she would not. So
I'm a night owl and he's a morning person.
Yeah, she likes to go out and hang out at night. So no, we did. We at least got the tarps down, our silage tarps on the garden the day before it started raining before our live. So that was good to do. But yeah, fall gardens, like I've said before, is my favorite. So I always get kind of giddy when it comes to this time of year. So,
and I don't think there's not much that we just don't like for the fall gardens either. I mean, we love.
It's just a one big salad. I mean, that's really, when you think about fall garden, it's just a salad. I mean, we love it. So Fitz is good. The kids are not crazy about it, but for us, it allows us to kind of eat more healthy. So.
Bandana Grandma, was this your first year at the Hootenanny? She said the venue was very nice. It was very nice.
Except for lot 75.
Yeah, I was
going
to say that. Well,
I stole it.
You did.
We should have conversated about it.
Well, at least that's a word. Anyway, so yeah, lot 75 is not cool for a 35-foot RV camper. And
I showed it to Jack with Freedom Homestead. I don't know. Mike Pratt actually saw it last year. His brother-in-law stayed there, and he couldn't even unhook from his truck because it's so bad.
It's a hill, y'all. It's not. It
Wait.
should
Let's go back.
not even be a spot for anything but a tent.
Let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. The reason we were in 75 is because I guess we were just not important to this campground because
we were moved 3 times.
When the Pratts came to us back in March, was it March? So when they came down here in March, I was like, Misty was like, we're going to Michigan. So when we booked this in March. I mean, we had like the room lock. We were way into the room lock, the lot lock that the Pratts had already. As soon as they gave us the dates, we were booked in. So we knew at this time we didn't even have this RV, but we knew we were looking for a Class A, Class C, 34, 35 foot RV. The baby's being crazy, so Missy's gonna get the baby. So here we are. I called them and they booked us. Like, yeah, you're in lot 65. I said, okay, no big deal. That was back in March. Well, Mike Pratt tagged the camping parking section where the reservations were, and we looked, and 65 was made for a 25-foot, pull behind our tent. Well, I don't know if y'all saw Old Bessie, but Old Bessie is way bigger than a tent or a 25-foot camper. Well, Old Bessie ain't gonna fit there, So I called them and they said, "Oh, we see that now. We're so sorry. We'll get you moved." So then they moved us to 77. I said, "Okay, great. We're 77." So I looked and they're like, "It's just right next to Mike and them, and so you're right there in the midst of everything." I was like, "Great, no big deal." Well, then that was Monday. The Monday before we went on Wednesday, which was last week, a week from yesterday. So a week from today, they called, or a week ago, Wednesday, they called me and said, "Mr. McMorris, I'm sorry. 77 is the extra life that Mike and Jenny had. So I forgot we overbooked that section. So can we move you?" I was like, "Okay." I said, "Is there even a lot for us? Because I mean, we're like in Missouri at this point and on our way. So is there any way we can have somewhere to stay?" So she's like, 75 just opened. It is a great lot right across the road from where they're at. And so we said, "Okay, great. We'll park there." When we got in at 2:30, we couldn't even park the rig on this hill. I mean, like that's what tore up our tire even more. So it was crazy. So 75 is not a good place. One good thing is there was nobody in 74 either, so we just stole both places and kind of parked across them both that night and the next day. And they finally got us right Saturday morning. So, but it was, I'm telling you, if you go to that campground's beautiful. Just don't stay in 75. Ain't that right? Aiden was trying to help me. We were outside trying to park this thing, and Aiden's like yelling at me. My tail end of the RV's like in the woods, pushed against the woods. Aiden's like, "You're hitting some trees. You're hitting some trees." But we were like sticking out. It was just they just kind of fit us in. But old Bessie was there, and she made it. She was a little crooked sitting, but hey, it worked out okay, so I couldn't complain. So, but yeah, the campground was really nice, really nice. So, where'd Mommy go?
She's coming.
But other than that, I think that was kind of all we had tonight anyway. I was going to try to wait for Misty. You see all the kids running around. They're getting a little hyper. So can you say hey? Are you going to say hey? Can you say hey? Hey. All right, we'll go back in there with Buddy. Anyways, I think that we're going to kind of wrap it up. Unless you think anything else that we were going to talk about? Am I forgetting something?
Sorry, the baby has had an upset stomach, and his got a rash, and
it's been just one of those nights.
Yeah, his little bottom is pretty bad, so he's upset about that. But anyway, well, I will say, I don't know what you discussed about the site. Did you tell them about calling the lady?
Yeah, I told them about the 3 or 4 times they moved us. So.
Did you tell them about us calling the lady? I would say that was probably the most disappointing part is when we called her the next morning and was asking her, "Can you please help us? Can you do something? We need to be moved." And she basically,
at first she was like, "Can you call somebody?" She's like,
"Yeah." Well, we were asking her, "Is there any way that we can move a spot? Is there any way that you can this is just, it will not work for us. So she basically told us that we were going to have to call somebody. She said, well, if there's somebody you're just going to have to call them and see if they'll swap with you. And we were like, what? And then so by the end of the conversation, she was like,
there was a basically
told us you're just going to have to get over it and you're going to have to deal with it. I'll send somebody that will help you if they can. And other than that, like, it's your problem. So I was not real happy about that at all.
Yeah, I think they were just blown away. I mean, they didn't. There was another group there, and I know all of you that was there and saw the middle group, and they were having a huge fun time too, just like the Hootenanny was. But one good thing is they had a maintenance man there, and she was just trying to get rid of us because she was like, I'll send him up there, see what he can do.
Thankfully, he was really nice. He was really helpful. He saw what a bind we were in.
Yeah, because we were out on their road. I mean, we couldn't even fit,
and then when
the kids were being crazy. So we were out on the road, but he came in and he was trying to all he could. So he saw that it was a situation where we were not fitting. So he realized it. So he called the office and said, look, these people have to have a different place. 75 is not going to work. So they allowed us to stay at 74, which kicked somebody. I mean, there was nobody else there anyway. But 75 stayed open, so we had that parking for the Stivers. I think we talked to them about coming in to park there if they were coming. So, but the maintenance guy, he was awesome. He brought us wood, and we were able to kind of fit into the.
And that was
area
very helpful. We still were not totally level, but at least we could walk.
That's right. We couldn't even open our slide out or
nothing. And that's what we were telling.
Jennings couldn't walk. He was just falling over.
That's what I was gonna say. Colby was trying to tell the lady, look, we're so unlevel. Our baby can't even walk in here. So I mean, that was a little bit of that goes back to the the kind of stressful part of it. But all in all, it was a really good time.
We had a great
time. The campground itself I thought was really nice.
Right.
How the layout was and everything, we really liked it. We really enjoyed it. The basketball goal, which we've taken basketball, and I don't think the kids ever even got a chance to go down there.
The kids had a blast. They played with everybody. They had a blast.
Yeah, and Aiden and the girls got to make new friends. Parker was one of them, which is Tangy and Jack's little boy. So the kids, they're already asking when are we going back next year? And Eliza come in earlier and she said, when are we going to that ABC place? And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, the place that we're going to see the Pratts again in. And I said, are you talking about when we go to another gathering? And she was like, yeah, that's it. I said, are you talking about HOA? And she said, yeah. She said, I didn't know what it was called. She called it the ABC place. But yeah, that's what she was talking about. So they're excited about getting together again next time, and they're already looking forward to it. So, and I think to wrap it up, I watched Freedom Homestead's video today, and y'all saw me comment on that. And the ending could not have been any more perfect because the end of it was.
We didn't even know that Mike had a problem with this camper.
Yeah. So to push that in and just see the people come together and help each other out and just the relationships you build, that's what it's all about. The community and helping one another, learning from one another, and just being there for one another. Really, y'all ended it perfect. Y'all just nailed it. That's what it's all about.
It's nothing like just getting together and just eating with people, and just being able to picnic with them. And we ate everybody's food. Everybody was eating, and it was just like one big family gathering. So
teamwork.
That was really good. I really enjoyed that a lot. I really did.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I think that's kind of it. We're gonna wrap it up. We just wanted to kind of talk about the Hootenanny for a little bit, but I'm hoping. I think we got one more Hootenanny video or one more Michigan video. Excuse me. So you're going to be inundated with another Michigan video tomorrow, I think. But other than that, that should wrap it up. But it's it's good to be home. Love the Hootenanny. I think our next venture is HOA, so we're excited about that. It's about 13 hours, so we've got a few extra hours to not have to drive. So I'm excited about
Few
that.
hours less.
Yes, and we've got a compressor that will go with us now.
Yes, well, before I get back in that thing, those tires will be checked. There's some type. The bottom line of that was there's some type of slow leak. I'm not sure what caused it. If it was like something small as a nail, or the placements of the tires on there, if something that we hit or something, I don't know. But it is a slow leak, and that was a little dangerous looking back on that now. But that will be checked before we go.
We'll have to conversate with somebody about that.
You're real cute.
All right, guys. We hope y'all had fun tonight. Thank y'all for stopping in, and happy homestead, y'all.